Hello, it's Helen from Journal with Purpose and welcome to my latest video. Today I thought I'd share something a little bit different with you and show you how I use my walks in nature and the things around me to inspire the kind of entries that I make inside my journal. Last weekend we went for a lovely walk down one of the lanes near our house. And the light was just looking so beautiful coming through the trees. And whilst they're mostly green, there's already lots of lovely coloured leaves on the floor in different shades of green turning to brown and orange. And I really wanted to capture some of that in my journal. It's not so easy at the moment to go away or visit some of the other places that we might like to have done, but I really wanted to make sure that I'm still enjoying everything that is still on offer, and especially the places that are closer to home. So I decided to collect some leaves, shells and nuts and take them home to play with in my journal. The first thing I decided to do was look through my junk journal that I created recently, and I'd already glued some leaves down on top of this acrylic painted background. And I also decided that I wanted to add a pocket to one of my pages. At the end of my junk journal video, I shared these pockets that I'd made after I'd followed along with a tutorial from Joey Duffy's channel. And since then, I've sewn around the edges of it and made lots of different pockets. So I thought now would be a good time to glue it down and stick it onto one of the pages in my junk journal. And to stick it down, I'm using a liquid form of Pritt stick. After watching Joey's video, I made lots of different pockets from different kinds of paper, including maps, scrapbook paper and old book pages, and I've got those on my desk ready to stick in whenever I want them. And I also created these mixed media tags, and I put some gesso on these craft luggage tags and then painted over the top of them. So I'm going to slip that into one of the pockets, and then I'm going to glue down this leaf on the front for extra decoration. I love using things that I find in nature, either to stick directly onto my journal pages or to inspire the colours that I use to either paint them or just look at the palette of the different leaves and flowers that are around at the moment. To make sure the leaf is firmly stuck down, I'm using some of this washi tape from London Gifties, and I'm tearing that in half, and then I'm going to stick 2 strips along the bottom. I thought that would just be a really nice reminder of the walk, and I'll use the back of the luggage tag to write down a bit more about it. Now that that's done, I'm going to move on to creating some pages in my standard size traveller's notebook insert, which I keep inside this vintage-like cover from Start Bay Notebooks. At this stage, I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do with the leaves. I'd had a quick play around with a few different ideas, but I'm really happy with what I settled with, and it's a lot of fun to create. I find that my journal is such a fun place to try out new techniques. I'm never too worried if things come out perfectly. As long as they've documented a special moment for me, then that's absolutely good enough. I'm starting off by putting some scrap pieces of paper underneath my journal pages and selecting some leaves that I want to use. And I'm going to be using 2 different ink pads. and they are both Tim Holtz Distress inks, one in Vintage Photo and one in Spiced Marmalade. And I thought those colours were absolutely perfect to represent the changing colours of the leaves. And I'm then using an ink blending tool to press those inks all the way around the outside of the leaf. And I'm just gently dabbing that ink down onto the page and just slightly on top of the leaf as well. I then remove that leaf and it leaves a lovely white shape where the leaf was, and I'm then swapping over to the orange coloured ink pad and doing exactly the same again, but with a completely different leaf shape. And I thought it would be really fun to keep repeating this process so that I end up with lots of different leaf shapes on my pages, and the white space gives me some lovely journaling spots. And I thought this would be a really fun way to be able to remember the walk and also document some of the leaves that I found. When I first came back from the walk, I thought I was going to sketch and paint some of the leaves, which I still might do, but I decided actually I just wanted something really quick and fun and to just play with something slightly different on my journal pages. We're lucky enough to live in walking distance and easy driving distance from some really beautiful places. So if you do enjoy this type of video, then let me know, because I'd love to take you with me and show you some of the different places that I visit with Barney our dog, and then how I document some bits of that time in my journal. I'm now using those ink pads to fill in all of the extra white spaces around the leaf shapes. And I'm so happy with how those colours are looking together. Before moving on to the next stage, I did spend a little time drying my pages with a heat tool, because distress ink can stay wet for quite a while and smudge very easily. I'm now going to use a Sakura Micron pen to draw an outline inside those leaves. And because I'm wearing a white long sleeve jumper, I've put that piece of paper underneath just to make sure that none of the ink transfers onto me. And I'm just filling in those outlines really loosely. I'm not worried about making sure that it's perfect, but I thought it would help the leaf images to stand out more clearly. I thought these leaf shapes would make great little journaling spots, and I'm going to use them to write down all of the things that I'm looking forward to during the autumn. In the UK, we've got various restrictions going on at the moment, though we're not too affected where we live. But rather than thinking about the things that we can't do, I really want to focus my time and energy on all of the wonderful things that are still available to us. So that's the sort of things that I'm going to be writing down inside these leaves. Now that that bit is done, I'm using a Tombow Fudenosuke brush pen to letter out the date. And you might notice I created these pages on the 28th of September. It's taken me a little while to get everything ready to go. It's been a really busy week, but I'm really happy to be able to share it with you now. And I've then turned my page around and I'm going to letter out the words Autumn Dreams as the title of these journal pages. I often get asked about the different stationery and products I use in my videos, and I try to leave everything linked in the description box down below. But if you do ever have trouble finding anything, then please do just let me know in the comments section. I'm now using that Micron pen to draw in some dashed lines, and I thought it'd just be nice to give them the effect that they are falling, as they'd all obviously fallen from the trees and landed on the ground. As always, I'd love to know how things are with you, if you've been able to get out anywhere nice and how you've documented that in your journals. Now that that is done, I'm going to start making some notes inside the leaves of the things that I'm looking forward to. So I'm writing down things that, like, I'm really looking forward to making lots of soups. I've already started on that and getting some in the freezer. Also, how much I enjoy going for walks on really cold days when you can then come inside and it feels lovely and warm. I also quite enjoy wet rainy days like it is here today, because I know that I can get on with creative projects and not feel that I should be making the most of being outside, so I definitely make the most of that wet weather too. And also lighting candles and drawing the curtains and just having those really lovely cosy evenings in. I've also been using some of the wetter days to take more online classes, both on Wanderlust and Skillshare, and I've been doing lots of mixed media and art journaling classes, which, if you follow me on Instagram, you may well have seen those popping up on my stories over the weekend. I'm really happy to have these thoughts documented in my journal, and I know that if I get to a day where I'm lacking in ideas and inspiration, that I can just have a quick look at these pages to remind myself of those lovely things that I was looking forward to and make sure that I do them. To add just a little bit more colour, I'm using some of this lovely nature style tape from London Gifties. And I just wanted to bring a little bit of green into the page to represent the fact that lots of the leaves are still green at the moment, but on the turn. I really hope that you enjoyed watching this video and seeing how I've used my walk in nature to inspire something a little bit different on my journal pages. And I hope it gives you some ideas for things to do in yours too. If you do decide to give this a go and you're on Instagram, I'd love to see them. Please do tag me in your photos. I'd love to see and share them. Well, thank you ever so much for watching. If you've got any questions or comments, then please do leave them down below. And if you enjoyed the video, it'd be great if you'd leave it with a thumbs up. And if you're new to my channel, I'd love it if you'll consider subscribing. Thanks again for watching. I hope you're doing really well, and I look forward to speaking to you very soon in the next one.